Hello, my dear lovely students in 4th primary. How are you? I hope you are fine. Now, in the last addition lessons, we learned that if we added 3 numbers in one problem, like 3 plus 7 plus 5, we don't have to start by order. الorder مش مهم أبداً في الaddition. We use the associative property to add the first 2 numbers, 7 and 3, because their sum is 10. Well, 10, this is the benchmark that makes it easy for me to add to the 5. فاكرين البنشمارك؟ Well, can we use the associative property even if the mathematical operation is multiplication, not addition? ينفع استخدم associative property كمان في multiplication مش في addition بس؟ Hello, my dear students. I am Miss Sarah. Now we have been focusing for the beginning of Unit 5. من أول Unit 5 وإحنا بنركز على understanding multiplication. We have learned about a group of properties. اتعلمنا مجموعة من properties of multiplication زي إيه؟ زي commutative property، وكمان عرفنا zero property والidentity property of multiplication. In the last lesson, we have explored pattern in multiplication by 10, 100, 1000. Today, lesson 7 is exploring more patterns in multiplication. هنتعلم النهارده more about multiplication properties by discovering the associative property, which is very important, and how to apply it, وازاي هنطبق ال associative property, and how to use it in multiplication problems. Let's first review some of the past strategies and the properties and patterns of multiplication that we have learned اللي اتعلمناها in the activity.card number talk in access on page 222 on your school book. تعالوا نشوفها مع بعض. Okay, here on page 222 in your school book, here we have the access part. طيب, here we have 10 dots card. عندي 10 cards. Each card has 5 dots. زي ما احنا شايفين كده 10 cards. كل card فيه 5 dots. I'll give you some time to notice and count the number of dots in the cards. You can use any method. ممكن نستخدم أي طريقة, whether it is addition أو subtraction. You can also choose any multiplication property previously mentioned, الحاجات اللي احنا خدناها قبل كده. And we will of course review the answers after you are done. And now that you're done, after you have finished, let's see how can we count the number of dots on the cards. تعالوا نشوف بقى ممكن أعد الدوتس دي إزاي. طيب, حد فيكم ممكن يقول لي I can skip counting by 5. ممكن حد يحلها by skip counting by 5. يبقى I will start with 5 وadd 5 10 times. تعالوا كده نحلها بالطريقة دي. ممكن أعمل 5 plus 5 plus 5. هكتب 5 10 times. Okay. طيب. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. طيب, بعد ما كتبت 5 10 times, if I add 5 10 times, the answer will be what? Yes, the answer will be 50. Okay. طيب, يبقى here I have 50 dots. طيب, ممكن حد تاني يحلها بطريقة تانية. يقول that I have 10 cards. كل card فيه 10 dots. Each one has 10 dots. So we multiply what? هنعمل 10 times 5, right? طيب, تاني, I have 10 cards. كل card فيه 5 dots. So هعمل 10 cards times 5 dots gives me 50 dots also. The same answer. طيب, دي طريقة تانية. طيب, ممكن أحلها third way. طيب, here I have how many columns? تعالوا نشوف كده. I have 1 2 3 4 5. هنا أنا عندي 5 columns. And how many dots? كل column فيه 10 dots. يبقى ممكن أحلها ب third way اللي هي 5 columns times 10 dots. 5 times 10 equals what? Also 50 dots. يبقى it gives me the same answer. Okay, يبقى أنا حليتها كده ب 3 ways أو 3 different ways. طيب, has anyone thought about the fact that there are 2 rows؟ في حد فيكم فكر إن أنا عندي هنا two rows. This is the first one and this is the second one. طيب كل row فيه how many dots؟ أهو this row فيه 25 dots. يبقى أنا عندي 2 rows كل row فيه 25. طيب يبقى أنا ممكن أحلها بطريقة رابعة اللي هي إيه؟ ممكن أعمل 25 اللي هم دول plus 25. 25 plus 25 equals what؟ 50. طيب ممكن حد تاني يقول لي أنا ممكن أعملها 25 times 2 which is also equals to 50 dots. يبقى look I solve it in 4 different ways. يبقى all of these answers are correct. طيب from this example we are able to review some properties of multiplication زي إيه؟ زي commutative property as we have seen in 5 times 10 و 10 times 5. مش أنا عملت 5 times 10 و 10 times 5 and this is what is called the commutative property يعني changing the number. We have also properties of multiplication by 10. استخدمنا كمان multiplication by 10. Are there any multiplication properties we can use؟ في حاجة تانية ممكن استخدمها multiplication properties تانية ممكن استخدمها؟ Right, there is a new multiplication property which is called associative property. And today we will learn what is the associative property and how we can use it in these problems. Now let's go to our school books on page 223. تعالوا نشوف كده page 223. Here is page 223. طيب, in the activity uncovering the associative property of multiplication in build part, like you see here. And let's first see what the meaning of associative property. يعني إيه associative property? طيب, here we have 2 multiplication problems. عندي 2 multiplication problems. Let's see it here. Okay. Now, this is the build part, and this is the 2 problems I have. Let's see the first problem, problem number 1. Here we have 3 times 2 times 4. طيب, we will solve it in order that it is written. يعني إيه؟ أنا هحلها بنفس الأوردر اللي هي مكتوبة بيه كده. 3 times 2 times 4. طيب, هعمل إيه؟ أول حاجة هعمل 3 times 2. هو 3 times 2 equals what؟ Yes, 3 times 2 equals 6. طيب بس كده؟ No, I will multiply 6 times 4. Hey, 6 times 4 equals what? 6 times 4 equals 24 and this is the answer. طيب تعالوا نشوف بقى problem number 2. هي problem number 2 بتقولي إيه؟ بتقولي that I have 4 times 2 times 3 which are the same digits. على فكرة أهو 3 times 2 times 4 هي نفسها 4 times 2 times 3. But in different order. غيرت بس الأوردر بتاع النمبر. طيب ممكن أحلها إزاي؟ Yes, I can make 4 times 2 gives me 8. Then 8 times 3 gives me what? 8 times 3 equals 24 which is the same answer. يبقى احنا عرفنا when changing the order of the numbers I will have the same answer. So now what do you notice in both problems؟ لاحظنا ايه في ال 2 problems دول؟ I am sure we have noticed that we get the same answer. طلع لنا نفس ال answer which is 24. طيب يبقى احنا عرفنا خلاص we started in the first problem with 3 and 2, right? In the second problem I started with 4 and 2. And this is what we call the associative property of multiplication. We use this property in multiplication problems that have more than 2 digits. اللي عندها أكتر من 2 digits. We put brackets around any 2 digits we want to start the multiplication with, then solve the multiplication in the brackets first, and then complete the rest of the problem with the remaining digits. طيب in that sense we can change the order of factors. ممكن أغير عادي جدا الأوردر بتاع numbers and put the brackets around any 2 numbers we want to start the multiplication with. وبعدين I will apply the associative property of multiplication and there won't be any change في الانسر. الانسر هيبقى زي ما هو بالظبط مش هيتغير. But how can I use the associative property to make it easier for us to solve multiplication؟ ازاي استخدم ال associative property عشان تبقى سهل عليا ان انا احلها؟ تعالوا نشوف كده example all together. طيب. Here I will solve with you this example to see the associative property. طيب يلا write with me. 3 times 2 times 8. Here I have 3 times 2 times 8. Okay. I have to apply the associative property here to solve it if we solve in the same order. طب لو أنا هحلها وهي مكتوبة بنفس الأوردر اللي هي مكتوبة بيه ده، هعمل إيه؟ I will put brackets around 2 and 8. تعالوا نشوف كده. يبقى ممكن أحط brackets، أكتبها another. I'll write it again 3 times 2 times 8. ممكن أحط brackets between 2 and 8. So the problem will look like this: 3 times 2 times 8 and 2 times 8 between brackets. طيب طبعا أنا عارفة إن 2 times 8 equals 16. دايما I solve the bracket first. 2 times 8 equals 16. طيب دلوقتي أنا عندي إيه؟ So I have 3 times 16. How can I make it؟ طيب هنعمل إيه؟ هنعمل break down لل 16. أوكي؟ عشان أنا مش عارفة table 16 so I will break down the 16. break down the 16 إزاي؟ Yes هعملها 10 plus 6. طيب بعدين هحلها إزاي؟ Yes I will make 3 times 10 plus 3 times 6. تعالوا نعملها كده. 3 times 10 equals what? 3 times 10 equals 30. Excellent. Plus 3 times 6 equals what? 3 times 6 equals 18. طيب يبقى 30 plus 18. 30 plus 18 equals what? Yes, 8 in the ones and 4 in the tens. So the answer is 48. طيب this is what we have learned in breaking down numbers. طيب على فكرة ممكن أحلها in another way. The associative property of multiplication. تعالوا بقى نحلها بطريقة associative property of multiplication but in another way. Here I can put the brackets around 2 and 3. تعالوا نشوف كده طريقة تانية نحلها بيها. Let's see. طيب ممكن أكتبها like this: 3 times 2 times 8 but this time أنا أحط البراكتس between 2 and 3. طيب واحنا اتفقنا إن if I have brackets I must solve the brackets first. هو 2 times 3 equals what? Yes 2 times 3 equals 6. يبقى أنا عندي هعمل إيه دلوقتي؟ هعمل 6 times 8. Okay 6 times 8 gives me what? 6 times 8 equals 48, which is the same answer. So now I can use the multiplication fact we know. طبعا 6 times 8 احنا واخدين timetable 6 واخدين timetable 8, so the answer will be 48 as you see. In that sense, we made it very easy for ourselves to solve the problems using the associative property, as you see here, of multiplication. And now let's apply what we have learned in the activity applying the associative property of multiplication in your school book, page 223. Let's see it all together. Okay, now we have 4 problems and we will decide هنشوف بقى هنحط البراكتس فين around which digits to make it easier for us to solve. تعالوا نشوف كده. I will give you time to think about the solution to problems number 1 and 2 and how we can use the associative property of multiplication. When we get back, we will see how we can solve the problems all together. And after thinking about the solution to the problems, let's discover together the way to solve the 4 problems. تعالوا نشوف بقى هنحلهم ازاي ال 4 problems دول. In problem number 1, as you see here, problem number 1, the digits are written as follows. زي ما احنا شايفين كده 3 times 2 times 5. طيب تعالوا كده نفكر. Is it easier for us to multiply 5 times 3 to get 15? أسهل لي إن أنا أعمل 5 times 3 عشان يبقى عندي 15 وبعدين أعمل 15 times 2 or to multiply 2 times 3 عشان يطلع لي 6 and then multiply 6 by 5. Which is easier for me? Of course, the easiest way is to multiply 2 times 3 first. أسهل حاجة ليا إن أنا أعمل 2 times 3 between brackets and then multiply the result by 5. Let's start by multiplying 2 and 3. تعالوا كده نشوف. يبقى أنا هعمل brackets between 3 times 2 أو 2 times 3. 2 times 3 equals what? 6. يبقى now I have 6 times 5. Hey, 6 times 5 equals what? 6 times 5 gives me 30. And this is the answer. طيب, because it is multiplication fact. طبعا احنا واخدين table 5 و 6, so it is multiplication fact. Now let's move to problem number 2. Problem number 2 here, as you see, the problem is written in this order: 4 times 6 times 2. What do you think is the easiest multiplying way? أسهل حاجة ليا إن أنا أعمل إيه؟ أعمل 4 times 6 عشان تديني 24 and then multiply 24 by 2, ولا multiply first 2 times 6 to get 12 and then multiply 12 by 4? Yes, ask yourself what is the easiest way. We could also think like mathematicians and use our previous knowledge. تعالوا بقى نستخدم ال previous knowledge بتاعتنا واحنا كنا بنستخدم ال commutative property of multiplication عشان نعمل ايه؟ ممكن اعمل 2 times 4. هعملها ازاي؟ باستخدام ال commutative property. طب تعالوا نكتب بقى 4 times 2 times 6. I will change the order of the numbers. هكتب 4 times 2 times 6. And then put the brackets between 4 and 2. أنا ليه بعمل كده؟ عشان أحلها in the easiest way. When I have brackets, I must solve the brackets first. So 4 times 2 equals what? Equals 8. يبقى here I have 8 times 6. 8 times 6 equals what? Yes, 8 times 6 is 48, and this is my answer. Now, let's move to problem number 3. Problem number 3 is written as follows: 2 times 9 times 3. It could be very easy to switch the 9 with 3. مش أنا أقدر عادي جدا أبدل ال 9 with 3. طيب, when I switch 9 with 3 هكتبها إزاي؟ هكتبها 2 times 3 times 9. Okay, so I will multiply what first? Yes, I can multiply 2 times 3 first. How 2 times 3 equals what? 2 times 3 equals 6 times 9. 6 times 9 equals 54, and this is my answer. So, النمبرز اللي أنا ببدأ بيها multiplication لازم أحط ال brackets between them. However, problem number 4 here is written as follows. عندي 3 times 2 times 3. طيب, first we can multiply what by what? Yes, ممكن أعمل 2 times 3. Okay, so 2 times 3 gives me what? 2 times 3 gives me 6. يبقى أنا عندي هنا 6 times 3, right? 6 times 3 equals 18, and this is my answer. That being so, we have now learned, تعلمنا خلاص ال associative property of multiplication and how and understood the ways to make it very easy for us to solve the multiplication problems that are made up of more than 2 digits. Now you can help our friend Farouk. تعالوا بقى نساعد الفريند فاروق, our friend Farouk, in solving the problem on page 223 on your school book in Connect part. Let's see. طيب, here's the Connect part. Here Farouk attempt to solve the problem 2 times 7 times 4. فاروق دلوقتي مفروض يحل 2 times 7 times 4. طيب, he started by placing brackets around 2 7. أول حاجة عملها حط brackets between 2 و 7 وعمل 2 times 7 equals 14. Okay? طيب, يبقى عمل 2 times 7 times 4. He put brackets between 2 times 7 and said that the answer is 14. 2 times 7 equals 14. وبعدين he wrote 14 times 4 and then stops. ما حلش بقى بقية البروبلم. I will give you time to think of another way of solving this problem that you can help عشان نساعد our friend with, and when we are back we will review and discuss the answers all together. And now after thinking about it, we noticed that كلنا لاحظنا ان فاروق عمل ايه؟ فاروق started by multiplying 2 by 7. اول حاجة عملها ان هو عمل 2 times 7. طيب ممكن على فكرة كانت تبقى اسهل لو عمل ايه؟ لو عمل switch لل 7 with 4. لو كان بدل ال 7 وال 4 عشان يعمل 2 times 4. طيب لما اعمل switch 7 مع ال 4 دي اسمها ايه؟ Yes, this is what is called a commutative property, changing the places of the numbers. تعالوا كده نعملها. If I switch 7 with 4 يبقى أنا عندي 2 times 4 times 7. Right? طيب what should I put أو إيه النمبرز اللي أنا هحطها جوه البراكتس؟ 2 times 4. أنا كل ده بعمله إيه عشان أحلها in a very easy way. هو 2 times 4 equals what؟ Yes, 2 times 4 equals 8. يبقى 8 times 7 equals what? 8 times 7 equals 56, and this is the right answer. And now we can move to the problems on page 224 on your school book. تعالوا بقى نشوف ال practice part all together. And here's the practice chart. Let's solve it all together. Okay. Now here's page 224. Now in the practice part, as you can see here, I have 7 problems. Look, here are 7 problems. The first 4 problems are ready to be solved. As the numbers are multiplied, numbers already multiplied, and the brackets are placed around them. زي ما احنا شايفين كده هو already حاطط ال brackets between the numbers. So I will leave you to solve them on your own way. However, in problem 5 and 6, we are asked to solve them and place احنا بقى اللي هنحط ال brackets between the numbers around different numbers. Okay? Here in problem number 5, the digits are written in this way. أهو problem number 5. 5 times 4 times 2 as you see. 5 times 4 times 2. طيب ممكن حد يقول لي I will multiply 2 times 4 وأحط ال brackets around 2 and 4. تعالوا نشوف كده. ممكن أكتبها 5 times 4 times 2. ممكن حد يقول لي I will multiply 4 times 2 first. أحط ال bracket between 4 times 2. طيب when I put the brackets I must solve the numbers in the brackets first. So 4 times 2 equals what? Yes, 4 times 2 equals 8. يبقى 5 times 8 equals what? 5 times 8 equals 40, and this is my answer. Okay, this is the right answer. طيب and now في حد بقى ممكن يقول لي switch the 4 with 5. ممكن حد يقول لي أنا عايزة أبدل ال 4 مع ال 5. تعالوا نحلها in this way. طيب لما أبدل ال 4 مع 5 دي اسمها إيه؟ Yes, it is called the commutative property. تعالوا نكتبها بقى in this way. طيب لما أبدل ال 4 مع 5 هتبقى 4 times 5 times 2. Right? طيب بعدين I will put the 5 times 2 between brackets. يبقى here I have 4 times 10. 4 times 10 equals what? Yes, 4 times 10 equals 40. طيب هنا عايزة أقول لكم حاجة مهمة قوي. لما يكون عندي 5 and 2 أسهل طريقة إن أنا أعمل 5 times 2 عشان تديني 10 because this will be the easiest way to solve any problem. Okay? طيب تعالوا نشوف بقى problem number 6. Here in problem number 6, he told me 3 times 6 times 2 equals what? 3 times 6 times 2 equals what? طيب يبقى أول حاجة I will multiply 2 times 3 first. أنا عايزة أعمل 2 times 3 first. هعملها إزاي؟ Using multiplicative property, right? طيب here I have 3 times 2 times 6. Here 3 times 2 equals what? Yes, 3 times 2 equals 6. Then I have 6 multiplied by 6 equals 36, and this is my answer. طيب, now let's move to the last one, problem number 7. Problem number 7 here, he told me that Aisha bought 3 packs of water bottles. Each pack had 3 rows of 4 water bottles. Okay? How many water bottles did Aisha buy? يبقى كده هي اشترت قد ايه؟ طيب تعالوا نشوف بقى هكتب اصلا البروبلم ازاي. Let's see how can I write the problem. طيب here I have Aisha bought 3 packs. Each pack عندها 3 rows consists of 4 water bottles. يبقى هعمل ايه؟ هعمل 3 times 3 times 4. Right? 3 times 3 times 4. طيب أول حاجة هعملها ايه؟ هعمل 3 times 3 first. يبقى I must put the brackets between 3 and 3. تعالوا نكتبها كده using the brackets. يبقى 3 times 3 between brackets times 4. When I have brackets, I must solve the brackets first. So 3 times 3 gives me what? Yes, 3 times 3 gives me 9. But here I have 9 times 4. Here 9 times 4 equals what? 9 times 4 equals 36. يبقى now I have 36 bottles and this is the right answer. And now we can also solve the problem from end to beginning. ممكن أحل البروبلم دي بطريقة تانية from the end to the beginning. طيب ممكن أقول that each pack has 3 rows of 4 bottles, right? طيب يعني ممكن أعمل إيه؟ ممكن أعملها بطريقة تانية. أقول 3 times 4. Here 3 times 4 equals what? Yes, equals 12. Okay, 3 times 4 equals 12. Then what should I do? مش عايشة bought 3 packs. The total number of bottles is what? 12 times 3. أنا عندي 3 packs يبقى هعمل 12 times 3. 12 times 3 equals what? تعالوا بقى نعمل break down لل 12. break down لل 12 اللي هي 10 plus 2. right? هي مش ال 12 10 plus 2. طيب وبعدين هعمل إيه؟ هعمل 3 times 10 plus 3 times 2. Here 3 times 10 equals what? 30 plus 3 times 2 equals what? 6. So 30 plus 6 equals 36 bottles and this is the same answer. And now after we finished the practice part, we have learned today the 4 multiplication properties which are what? ايه multiplication properties اللي احنا اتعلمناها النهارده؟ Yes, تعلمنا ال commutative property وكمان ال zero property وال identity property and the associative property of multiplication. And these properties make it easier for me to solve the multiplication problems. We have also explored the patterns in multiplication by 10, 100, 1000. And now, thank you so much, my dear students, for your watching and see you next lesson.